All Tourers require gas for heating and cooking, and most will have a gas locker similar to this one with provision for at least 2 gas bottles. There are backrests and straps to hold the bottles in place, and there are also gas drop vents in the floor of the gas locker to allow gas to disperse in the event of an escape. It's not unusual to find some water in the floor of the gas locker, as the lids are not watertight. You have a choice of which gas to buy and what size of bottle to purchase it in. The blue bottles here all contain butane, which is suitable for summer use, whereas the red bottles contain propane for use all year round. The thing to bear in mind is that whatever size and type of gas you decide to buy, you must use the appropriate regulator for the bottle. The gas within the bottle is in high pressure in order to keep it in liquid form, and the regulator restricts that flow to that which can be used by your appliances. Provided that the correct regulator is fitted, Tourers will run on either gas without any adjustment. Depending on bottle type, the regulator may require a spanner for fitting or be a clip-on type. You can purchase regulators which have a needle gauge to allow you to see at a glance how much gas is in the bottle. Gas hose is a vital, though sometimes neglected, piece of equipment. It must be secured both at the regulator and the Tourer gas connection point. It is also date stamped along its length and should be changed regularly, for example at annual service. All Tourers require 12-volt power, and the best source of that is a leisure battery like this one, which is purpose-built for the job. These lead-acid batteries of course give off hydrogen, which explains why there are vent holes in sealed battery compartment doors and extra hoses on the batteries themselves. Snap-on terminals like these are ideal because they give a good connection without danger of sparks and make life easier when removing the battery from the Tourer. Always ensure that the battery is safely secured within the locker, and don't forget that the electrolyte level will require periodic checking unless the battery is labelled sealed for life. When considering a battery, the amp hour rating will give an indication as to its capacity. The higher the rating, the longer the battery will last before it requires a charge. As a guide, leisure batteries fall within the range of 45 to 90 amp hours. The majority of modern Tourers will also incorporate the 240-volt hookup within the battery compartment. As a safety precaution when connecting up the cable, connect to the Tourer first before the sight post, and when you disconnect at the sight post before the Tourer. In this way you'll not be carrying a live cable end. Finally, please remember not to leave the cable coiled up in use. Before we finally connect our water supply, we need to ensure that the water system is ready for commissioning. I've already been inside the Tourer and checked that the water pump supply switch on the control panel is switched off and made sure that all the taps and the shower head are closed. Most Tourers have a hot water system, and this is the most popular. It's called the Carver Cascade. Ensure that the drain bung is screwed back home in the bottom left-hand corner. It only just needs to be nipped up. And if you have the Rapide version, there's an air bleed valve in the top left-hand corner, and you need to ensure that it's in its closed position just by turning it 90 degrees. As for the water pump connection point, this is a Carver Crystal unit. It has the space to connect the water supply there and a filter cartridge also screwed home. It's silverized carbon and it will last about 30 days before it requires changing. Drop the submersible water pump into your water container. Give it a little shake just to expel air from the bottom of the pump unit before plugging in, and lock the 2 tabs down to secure it to the pump housing. Some Tourers have a slightly different arrangement made by a company called Whale.
In fact, most late model caravans are supplied with Whale water systems. The principle of an external self-priming pump is the same, although an external water filter is not fitted. Instead, an inline filter connected to the drinking water tap is available as an accessory or may be fitted as standard. The water heater is usually made by Truma, which has an external gas flue and a winter cover that must be removed before using the heater on gas. The water system is drained from the inside by opening a drain valve.
Before we go inside and get all the systems going, we need to make arrangements for the collection of wastewater. There's a number of different types of containers on the market, and this one is particularly suitable for sloping pitches. We of course supply you with some waste pipe for you to cut and fit as required.